Welcome to English Refine. This is our channel, a place where learners improve English speaking, grammar, and daily conversation, all using really simple explanations.
Yeah, simple's the goal here. Hello, everyone. I am the teacher for this deep dive. I'm here to explain the rules slowly and clearly.
And hi, everyone. I am the learner. I'll be asking all the common beginner questions that, you probably have in your head right now.
Exactly. We want this to feel like a real, friendly conversation. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, so imagine this. You are at work. You have this big presentation. You practice your English. You know all the words. You turn to your boss and say, I have a proposal to you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just writing an email, right? You are staring at the screen and you completely freeze over one tiny two-letter word. You ask yourself, wait, is it two or is it four?
It is so common. Honestly, it is a very humbling experience. These two tiny words, they cause so much hesitation for English learners.
Which is exactly why we are doing a deep dive into them today. Our mission is to learn how to use two and four in English. And we have a lot of great sources, grammar guides, and real-life examples to help us.
But, and this is important, our goal is not to give you a boring textbook list to memorize.
Right, because if your brain is like searching for chapter 4 of a grammar book while your boss is staring at you, you've already lost the conversation.
Yeah, your brain just can't do that. You can't remember complex rules at conversational speed. So instead, we want to help you feel the words. When you understand the feeling behind them, it just becomes natural.
I love that. So to our listener, if you have ever mixed these words up, do not worry. You are in a very big club. Today is about less stress and more natural English. Let's start with the basics.
Right. At their core, prepositions like to and for are connective tissue. They show how things relate to each other.
Okay, so they connect ideas. Let's look at the most common problem, expressing why we do things. The sources call this the why test.
Yes, the why test. This is about purpose. Why are you doing an action? The rule here is actually very structural. If you used to, you must follow it with a verb.
An action word.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if you use for, you must follow it with a noun, a person, place, or thing.
Okay, so let's give the listener an example. I'll give two sentences that mean the exact same thing in real life. Sentence 1, I came to New York to work.
Perfect. To work. Work is the verb.
And sentence 2, I came to New York for a new job.
Right. For a new job. Job is the noun. Both sentences tell us why you moved, but the feeling is actually very different.
Yeah, it really is. It feels like to is a magnet for verbs. It aggressively pulls action toward it. Like to work means I am focusing on the effort, the daily grind.
That is a great way to think of it. When you say to work, you are highlighting the action. You are active.
But when I use for with a net, like for a new job, it feels different. If to is an action magnet, then feels like, I don't know, a basket.
A basket. I like that.
Yeah, it's holding a prize. The new job is the object I want to get at the end of the trip.
Exactly. You shift your focus from the sweaty action of working to the prize you receive. Action versus prize.
Action versus prize. So, listener, left for a quick practice. Say this out loud with me. I study hard to learn.
I study hard to learn. Notice the action.
Now try this one. I study hard for good grades.
I study hard for good grades. Notice the prize.
That is so clear. But there's a very common trap here. In the wild, when people are speaking fast, they make a classic mistake. We saw this in the ESL guides. People will say, I went to the store to buy some milk.
Ah, yes. The dreaded for two stack. It happens all the time.
Why do we do this? I mean, logically, my brain says, I went to the store for the purpose of buying milk. So I combine for and to buy. It makes sense in my head.
It does make mathematical sense. And actually, hundreds of years ago in Old English, people did speak a bit like that. But in modern English, it is completely wrong. It's like grammatical stuttering.
Because I'm saying the reason twice.
Yes, it is redundant. But the main reason learners do this is because of translation. In many languages, like Spanish with para or por, there's just one magic word that does everything.
Right. One word for motive, destination, exchange,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So when a learner speaks English, they panic. They want to translate the reasons, so they grab for, but they know they need the verb, so they grab to. They stack them because they don't trust the English words to do the job alone.
They don't trust the action magnet.
Exactly. So the correction is simple. Trust the language. Drop to for. Just say, I went to the store to buy milk. Let the word to be the only engine you need.
Listener, let's practice that. Repeat after me. I went to the store to buy milk.
Great. No for needed.
Okay, so if to is an engine pulling us toward an action, it makes total sense that its most basic use is pulling us to a physical place.
Spatial direction. This is where the grammar gets very real. To shows where a noun is going. It is almost always used with verbs of motion.
Like, we're going to Paris, or I walked to the market. In these sentences, to is like an arrow pointing on a map.
It is the arrow pointing to the final destination. But one of the university guides we looked at makes a really cool distinction here. The difference between the word to and the word toward.
Oh, yeah, this was a huge light bulb moment for me. They sound similar, but they mean very different things. Let's compare. John traveled to Dallas versus John traveled toward Dallas.
The difference is everything. If you say, John traveled to Dallas, it means he arrived. He is in Dallas, the trip is over.
Right, it's like the GPS in your car saying you have arrived.
But if you say John traveled toward Dallas, we don't know if he arrived. Toward just means the compass direction. He started going that way, but maybe his car broke down.
He might have stopped in another town entirely.
Yeah.
So toward is just the direction. To is the final arrival. It means crossing a boundary.
Yes, crossing a boundary. And that explains why we use to as a piece of other words, like onto or into.
Right. Let's explain that. If I just say the cat is on the table.
It has a static picture. The cat is not moving. It is just sitting there.
But if I add our engine, our arrow word to, the cat jumped onto the table.
Notice a video. The to tells us the cat moved across space and crossed the boundary of the table. Same with into. Mary dove into the water.
Movement towards the inside. The to adds the energy.
Exactly. Listener, point your finger at your computer or phone screen right now. Move your finger and say, I am pointing to the screen.
See? You are the arrow. Now, what's really cool is how this physical arrow works for invisible things, too, like relationships.
Metaphors. Yes, we use the same physical logic for social connections.
Like, you might say, I am attached to this car, or he is married to her, or even a job title like assistant to the regional manager.
In your mind, you are drawing an invisible line connecting the assistant directly to the manager.
It's an arrow.
Always an arrow. To implies a line, a connection, a movement toward a recipient, even if it's just an emotional connection.
Okay, so to is an arrow or a line. Now we need to talk about for. What shape is for? It definitely isn't an arrow.
If to is an arrow, for is a scale, a balancing scale used for transactions.
A scale. I love that. Because when we look at the guides, for is always about intentions, benefits, and swapping things. It's about balancing. Let's look at the first category, benefits.
Right. For example, yogurt is good for your digestion, or smoking is bad for you.
In these sentences, for shows who receives the benefit or the harm, the yogurt is healthy, and on the other side of the scale is your digestion receiving that health.
Perfect. The next category is support, like saying, I always root for the underdog. Or, are you for or against the new law?
So here I am taking my energy or my vote and putting it on the scale to support someone.
Yes, you are dedicating your weight to their side. Then there is representation, like I speak for everyone.
This is a big one. It means I am a substitute. I am taking their voices, carrying the weight myself, and delivering it.
You act as their proxy. Which brings us to the most literal use of the scale. Pure exchange.
Trading. I'll give you my potato chips for your muffin. Or I traded my old car for a new one.
Exact substitution. A car in exchange for a car. So benefits, support, representation, trades they all use for because they all deal with the balancing scale.
This is so helpful. Now, there is one really old kind of weird use of for that I saw in the grammar guides. We don't really say it in daily life, but it explains so much.
You mean using for as a conjunction, like in old books?
Yeah. The example was, don't go out past midnight, for it's not safe.
Oh, right. Like a dramatic Shakespeare play.
Exactly. If I said, I am buying this sandwich, for I am hungry, people would think I was crazy, so why did we even study it?
Because it shows us the deepest true meaning of the word. Think about that old sentence. Don't go out past midnight, for it's not safe. How would you say that in normal modern English?
I would just use because. Don't go out because it's not safe.
There you go. At its core, for basically means because of or in exchange for this reason.
Wow.
Yeah. Why did you buy yogurt? Because of your digestion. Why did you trade the car? In exchange for a new one. For always provides the reason or the exchange rate.
That makes the next part so much easier to understand because we are about to talk about the biggest, most awkward mistake in English.
The gift-giving dilemma.
The absolute nightmare of gift giving. Let's paint the picture for our listener. You bought a present, you want to give it to your friend. Do you say, I made this to you, or I made this for you? Do you say, I gave the book for my sister, or to my sister?
This causes so much panic. But to fix it, you just need to understand the timeline of the gift. the physics of time.
Okay, let's break down the timeline. Step 1, I am in the store.
Right. If the sentence focuses on the intention or the creation of the object before it is handed over, you use for.
So I pick up a toy at the store, and I say, I'm buying a gift for my dog.
Yes. The dog isn't there with you. There's no physical passing of the toy. You are just focusing on your intention. You are exchanging money to get a benefit on behalf of your dog. The scale.
The scale. So I use for, but let's fast forward the timeline. Now I am at home. I am holding the toy. My dog is right in front of me. I release the toy into his mouth.
The timeline has shifted. The sentence is no longer about your idea at the store. It is about the physical travel of the object. The toy moves from your hand to the dog. It crosses a space. And what is our word for spatial destination?
The arrow. I give the gift to my dog.
Exactly. The object travels from point A to point B.
So I made this for you is correct because making happens in the past based on my intention. But I handed this to you is correct because handing is an immediate physical movement.
Intention versus destination. 4 versus 2.
Listener, let's practice this. Imagine you are holding a coffee. You want your friend to hold it. Say this out loud. I am handing this coffee to you.
Good. Now imagine you bought the coffee as a surprise. Say, I bought this coffee for you.
Perfect. Now, we have to apply this to speaking because there is a very funny but very bad mistake people make at work. Let's say you need to have a serious meeting with your boss. A learner might say, I need to talk for you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, please do not say that to your boss.
Right, because if we remember the scale, forana means representation, a substitute.
Exactly. If you say, I need to talk for you, you are telling your boss, you are incapable of speaking, so I will act as your lawyer and speak on your behalf.
You are taking over their mouth. It completely ruins the professional relationship.
It does. The natural correct phrase is, I need to talk to you.
Because in English grammar, words are physical things. They are projectiles.
Yes. Your words leave your mouth, they fly across the room, and they hit the destination, the listener's ears. You talk to someone. You explain a concept to someone. The words are arrows.
But if I buy a coffee for someone, I am holding an intention, a basket.
Exactly. Now, if you are listening and you suddenly remember saying, I need to talk for you to a coworker in the past, take a deep breath. It's okay.
Yeah, people usually understand what you mean. And honestly, making that specific mistake is a great sign. It means you are progressing.
It means you are trying to build complex sentences by yourself instead of just repeating memorized phrases like a robot.
You are building the airplane while you fly it. And making mistakes is the only way you actually become fluent. Okay, we've talked about space and gifts. Now let's take a turn into something totally invisible. Time.
Measuring our schedules. Time is interesting because both 2 and 4 handle time, but they use totally different tools.
Let's look at 2 first. Everyday examples. It's 3:45. We are open from dawn to dusk. Wait to the end of the month.
Think about the arrow again. In these examples, 2 acts as a hard boundary, a brick wall. It defines the exact endpoint of the time.
So wait to the end of the month just means wait until the end of the month.
Yes, in this case, 2 is the same as until. You're traveling through time, and 2 tells you exactly where to stop.
Now let's compare that with 4. I've lived here for 2 years, or I have a meeting scheduled for Tuesday.
If 2 is the brick wall, 4 is a stopwatch, a timer. It measures the duration, the length of the time spent, the years piling up on the scale.
Wait, what about scheduled for Tuesday? Tuesday isn't a stopwatch length.
Good point. But goes back to the basket. Scheduled for Tuesday means you are taking a block of future time and using it as a container for your meeting. You are trading your Tuesday in exchange for the meeting.
Wow. Okay, I saw a really cool visual trick in the guides about time and numbers. When we speak, we say, there were about 40 to 50 people there. But when we write it, like on a recipe, we write bake 30-35 minutes. We use a little line, a hyphen.
Right, the hyphen.
But we don't say bake 30-35 minutes. We say 2. Bake 30 to 35 minutes. The little dash is literally the word 2.
It is the typographic bridge, the journey from the lower number to the higher number. And for Keros, handles numbers completely differently. 40 sets up a baseline comparison.
Oh, like when people give kind of rude compliments like she's tall for her age or you're pretty smart for a beginner.
Exactly. When you say for her age, you are instantly building a box of expectations. You are establishing the average height of a child that age.
And then the first part of the sentence breaks the box.
Yes. She's tall subverts the expectation. For acts as the control group, the normal standard you are comparing against.
Okay, that makes sense. But we can't avoid it anymore. We have to talk about the massive trap, the exception that makes everyone angry.
Ah, the gerund trap. Words ending in ing.
Yes, the ing words. Let's go back to our absolute first rule today, human purpose. If I want to say why I am doing something, I cannot use for plus an ing word.
Correct. On tests, it is a major error to say, I work hard for improving my English.
Just hearing it feels wrong.
Humans have motives. We take deliberate actions for future goals. And human motive requires two, plus the base verb, the arrow pulling us forward. I work hard to improve my English.
Okay, listener, let's lock that in. Repeat. I practice English to improve.
Good. Do not say for improving.
Okay, humans use to plus verb. But here is the massive exception. It is called the function rule, and it applies to objects, things that are not alive.
Yes. When you describe the purpose of a tool or a machine, you actually have to use for plus the ing word.
Example time. A ladle is a big spoon used for serving soup. A keyboard is used for typing. A sponge is for cleaning.
In these cases, for plus ing is perfectly correct. It is mandated.
I'm going to push back on this. Why? Why do humans get the clean, simple to plus verb, but my soup spoon gets stuck with plus ing? What is the logic?
It is about how human language views consciousness. Think about the spoon. It does not have a brain. It doesn't wake up and say, today I have a motive to serve soup.
It's just a piece of metal.
Exactly. It simply exists. It exists in exchange for its utility. Humans take specific active journeys. I work to improve. An arrow. But an object has a static, continuous state of being useful.
Oh, so the ing shows it is continuous.
Yes, a ladle exists for serving. It is ongoing. So we use the continuous ing form and pair it with for, the word of exchange.
That is deeply philosophical for a kitchen tool. Humans take purposeful journeys with to. Objects are built for continuous exchange with for.
See, when you feel the difference between human action and a tool's passive use, you don't need to memorize a list.
Okay, but what about a robot? An artificial intelligence? Do I say the AI was built to calculate, treating it like a human? Or the AI is for calculating, treating it like a spoon?
That is a brilliant question, and the answer is native speakers use both. It depends completely on how scared they are of the robot. If they view it as an independent thinking agent, they use to. If it's just a fancy calculator, they use for calculating.
That is amazing. The grammar literally reveals our psychology. Okay, as we get closer to the end of our session, I want to explore the truly messy, emotional side of English.
Emotional nuance. Yes, language isn't always perfectly logical.
Let's start with a subtle difference from the guides. Important to versus important for. Let's say I have a big job interview tomorrow. A guide says, a job interview is important for you, but getting your dream job is important to you. They're both correct, but they feel completely different.
They carry different weights. How does important for feel to you?
Important for feels like eating vegetables, it's practical. I need a job to pay rent and buy food. It is functionally required. But important to feels sentimental. It's in my heart. It's my childhood dream.
That is the exact distinction. Important to indicates personal, emotional value. The arrow points directly at your identity. Important for that food indicates a practical benefit on the scale. Doing your taxes is important for you. A family photograph is important to you.
I love that. But now I have to bring up the hardest part of the tests, the TOEFL and IELTS lists. Collocations.
Oh, collocations. The enemy of all language learners.
Because they seem to have no logic. They're just words stuck together. Let's look at a few. For the word to, we have addicted to, react to, threat to, object to. But for the word for, we have cure for, hungry for, recipe for, search for.
And it feels like pure memorization, right?
Totally. Why is it addicted to, but hungry for? They both mean I really, really want something. Why does one get the arrow and one get the basket?
Well, collocations are like linguistic fossils. They are words that hung out together for hundreds of years and got glued together. But if we brush off the dust, they still follow our rules. Let's look at addicted to.
Okay, break it down.
Think about addiction. What does it feel like? It is not a casual trade. It is a gravitational pull. You are being dragged toward a substance against your will.
Oh, wow. The verb magnet pulling me.
Exactly. The arrow is there. Or react to. A reaction is an arrow bouncing back at a stimulus. A threat to. A threat is a weapon pointed directly at a target. They all possess that directional arrow energy.
Okay, I see it. What about the four words? Search for, cure for, hungry for. Where is the scale?
They echo the basket, the prize at the end of the exchange. When you search for something, you are putting in effort in exchange for finding the prize. A cure for is a medical benefit meant to balance the scale against a disease.
And hungry for.
Hunger is an empty scale inside your body. You seek food to balance it. The DNA of exchange and benefit is buried in all of them.
That makes studying for exams so much less painful. You aren't just memorizing, you are feeling the shape of the word. Is it an arrow or is it a basket?
Exactly.
Before we wrap up, we have to talk about one last phrase. It's a huge point of confusion. Used to.
Two tiny words that completely change timelines. Let's dissect it.
Hmm.
Sentence 1. He used to smoke.
Okay, in this sentence, used to plus the base verb smoke. It means a dead habit in the past. Right, yeah.
Yes, it means he did it a lot in the past, but he absolutely does not do it now. The timeline is sealed in the past.
But watch what happens if I add the verb to be and change the ending. He is used to smoking.
You just violently shifted the timeline. To be used to, followed by an ing word, means to be accustomed to something. It means the action is totally normal for him right now in the present.
Let me make sure I get this. Listener, listen closely. If I say he used to wake up early, that means he did it in college, but now he sleeps late.
Correct. Past habit.
But if I say he is used to waking up early, it means his alarm goes off at 5 a.m. today and he feels perfectly fine. It is his current habit.
Precisely. The word is acts like a time machine, pulling the habit into the present day.
That is so tricky. Okay, we've covered so much today. Arrows, baskets, scales, time machines, soup spoons. I have to ask the ultimate question. How can any learner remember all this while trying to talk in a loud coffee shop?
The honest truth is you won't, and you shouldn't try.
Oh, thank goodness.
If you stand at a cafe trying to calculate the animacy of a coffee cup, you will freeze. The goal is intuition. When you feel that panic, do not look for a textbook in your head. Fall back on the core feeling.
The shape of the word.
Yes. Ask yourself, is the energy of my thought an arrow pointing at a destination or an action? Then launch the tomes. Is the energy a basket holding an intention, a benefit, or a trade? Then offer the 4.
Arrow versus basket. Listener, that is the big takeaway. And I want to say one last thing to you. When you make mistakes, and you will say waiting to you instead of waiting for you. Do not feel bad.
Never feel bad.
View it as proof that you are actively building original sentences. You are putting the blocks together yourself. That messy process is the only way your brain rewires for true fluency.
Fluency comes from making slightly embarrassing mistakes, surviving them, and recalibrating for next time.
So true. Well, that covers all our sources for today's deep dive. But I think you had one final fun fact for us.
I do. It is a bit of linguistic trivia from Wikipedia. For a long time, strict grammar teachers told everyone a very specific rule. You must never end a sentence with a preposition.
Oh, right. Never leave a toe or a 4 dangling at the end.
Exactly. It was considered a sin. But the Wikipedia source points out that in real breathing English, native speakers break this rule constantly. It is completely natural, for example.
What did you put that there for? That sounds completely normal to me.
It does. A strict old teacher would want you to say, for what reason did you put that there? But nobody speaks like that. We leave the 4 dangling right at the end of the thought, holding the basket open.
I love that. It makes you ask, who are these rigid rules really serving? Are they helping us communicate or just making us feel bad?
Usually just making us feel bad.
And that is a perfect thought to end on. Grammar rules are not iron cages. They are flexible tools. They bend so we can connect with other humans. Sometimes your arrow flies a little crooked, and sometimes your basket dangles at the end of a sentence.
So go out there, bend some rules, make some glorious mistakes, and keep speaking.
Yes, keep learning and keep building your English every single day. Thank you so much for joining us on English Refined.
See you next time, everyone.